What's going on, guys? Gibbs is back with some more replay analysis. This week we have Savage. He is in superstar level. This was Team 3. He's playing with two of his buddies. And they've been playing together a lot, he says, or a decent amount. And yeah, so we'll get into it right after the Patreon spiel. So this is from Patreon for my replay analysis tier. If you want to check it out, patreon.com/Gibbs00. And with that, let's get into the replay. So the first few things before we start it all over, I'm just showing it at 200% for you, is, so he's Superstar. It's a little harder to, like, point out mistakes. One thing I noticed was just, like, the game flow just wasn't with them this game. I felt like the Orange team had control of the ball most of this game. That's probably towards, like, their quality of hits. But at the same time, sometimes things just go a little weird, or there's a lot of, like, corner battling, like you see right there. But with that, let's go into it. We'll go back to 100%. We'll start this over. And we'll just walk through the whole game. I feel like that's an easy way to do it. Here we go, just off the start. He's cheating a little bit, just seeing what's going on. Mute should have this ball. He's waiting in net. Alright, here, I mean... Unix probably shouldn't have hit that. He should have let Savage have that ball, and it would have been better off. All right, here, this is a pretty good pass. So I'm gonna go back here for a second. He's like in between shooting and passing with this shot or slash pass. Like, he has a chance to shoot because the other guy is going backwards. So what happens is when they're going backwards is that they're gonna make a weaker save. Like, Doomy would have had a hard time saving this if he just shot it high and towards the net. At the same time, if he hits it a little bit more right, then Mute has a better chance at a shot, like a deflection. Here, instead, he kind of just throws it a little too far for Mute, and I think Mute ran out of boost there. Now, these two hits are actually really poor. This kind of screws up their whole, like, offensive chance. So right here, Mute misses. But there's really no reason for Savage to come hit this. Mute's not going to have a chance for a pass. And he kind of just, like, throws it off the wall. Like, if he takes this and throws it off the side wall instead and throws it high towards the net, at least you make the goalie make a weird save. And maybe it's not a great clear. It does work out because Unix is not around. So if we go into fly view right here real quick. Go back to right when he hits this ball. For some reason... Alright, so here's the pass. I don't want to be on him. I want to be on the ball. Let's go here. Get to the ball. Alright, so Unix is way out of the play. We'll go to none. Unix is going backwards for some reason. I'm not sure why. He should probably be kind of sitting up. He could have just picked up some of these welfare boosts and been in that play. Instead, he goes back for the boost and then does nothing really with it. But, like, the real problem here is... A little too far, a little too far. I think I screwed it up, guys. Alright, there's the pass. And here's these two hits. So, they only have one goalie. And, man, I'm screwing up these replays real bad right now. Okay. So, here's the pass. They miss. Doomy's the only one back. And they kind of just throw it off the wall twice to no one. And it actually works out that Orange gets a clear out of this, basically. And everyone's kind of just going real slow at these balls right now. Now everyone's back on Orange and they can't really set anything up. Here's a kind of a bad pass between Unix and Mute. It just didn't really work out. And let's go back into Savage for this play. Savage, where are you, buddy? Alright, so let's go back. So he's watching this pass happen. It doesn't really work. He's waiting for boost, actually, because the boost wasn't there yet. Here he flies, and he just misreads when the wall's coming. That's a really poor play, and that should have been a goal for Orange. There, you have to either wait in net or wait for that bounce off the wall and, like, connect with it, which is the ideal play. Right after it hits the wall. He just has to know where the wall is on that play. Yeah, we're just kind of... but then afterwards, he gets a decent clear here. Only problem is, he throws it to the middle, and it's not hard enough, so it's kind of low. So then Orange can clear it right back out. So it's kind of a failed clear attempt there, and the ball is just in their area still, just kind of stuck. Here's another poor clear. That's actually a really bad hit right here. He has plenty of time. There's no one around him. Let's go into fly view here. So, Cabrino's out of the play. And there's, like, no one else around. He's got all the time in the world, yet he just throws it off this wall really hard. which turns into a better play for T-Cons, basically. He has a chance for the hit, but Unix kind of saves Savage there a bit and gets the tap. But it's still not cleared because of all of that. Just because of this one hit. Instead, what he should have done was he had plenty of time. So let's go back into his view. And we can look at what he could have done. Alright, I'm going to back it up. Okay, so the ball comes down. It's coming off the wall. He can take this up the wall and dribble it up. Kind of like the last clear he had almost. And he could just ride it along the wall all the way down. Instead, he hits it really hard for some reason. He just kind of panics on this. He's already at top speed, I guess, or near top speed. Or he could have, like, instead turned this upfield right away and started like a dribble. And just gone upfield and taken on T-Cons. It probably would have turned into a 50-50. But that might have been better off. Now, this is a really poor hit as well. So, after the failed clear attempt, Dewey hits it at him. He just hits that ball too hard. He flips at it when he could have just tried to kill it with his car. Like it was definitely wide. So, he flips at it and does a perfect center for them. So, this should have been a goal as well. Instead, he could have not flipped, and the ball would have, like, tapped off of him, and he would have been the next person getting the next possible hit. So, that was a kind of a poor play as well. This definitely should have been a goal, and they just missed completely. They missed twice, actually. He probably could have had another shot there, which didn't work out. All right, let's move on. Again, he kind of just hits that up the wall again. This time, at least, he hits it up the curve, so this helps. Because this is harder to clear back into his own area. And then he jumps off the wall, he runs out of boost, and just gets a nice, like, little tap. But again, that makes it really easy for Orange to clear it back in. So if we go all the way back to when he hits this. Again, he has some time. No one's around him. Two guys from Orange just left, like, in his field of view. So only one possible player is going to make a play. He could have very easily just dribbled this up. Just turned it up the field and dribbled it up. We go into fly view. Cabrino's the only one challenging. Like, the other two are leaving. And I hate when it stays on that. There we go. Okay, so Cabrino's the only one that has a possible chance of challenging. So if he were to dribble this up, he might have been able to beat Cabrino, maybe not. Then it turns into a 50-50. But with the other two leaving, his teammates would get that 50-50 rebound or wherever it's going and probably get a clear attempt out of it. Instead, he wastes a little too much time while Orange is leaving. And this turns into a pretty easy clear back. Because now a T-Cons is coming all the way back from grabbing his boost and gets the clear back in. And he's got full boost. Not a great play there. Go back into it. And of course, like, while I'm doing this, one, it's my opinion. They're not always right. And the other thing is I'm trying to point out negatives. I'm not really looking for too many positives just because, like, he's doing those well, so he doesn't really need them. Alright. So here we go. We'll get back into it. Here, he went up the wall. So this is a kind of a poor play. He's going to go up the wall because he thinks it's going to wrap around the wall. But Mute's already there to do that, to try and mess up that pass attempt. Instead, he should have stayed in net, and he would have had a much better chance of just an easy clear here. Instead, he goes up now. He's backwards and has to make an awkward hit. That goes right to Cabrino. So again, this could have been a goal. And they got a little lucky out of it. So another poor, like, clear attempt, kind of, out of net. But that one was more of a positional error, more than the quality of hits. Now, this play is actually not bad. Like, he doesn't see his teammate, but he knows Cabrino's going to try and dunk on him, so he goes low. I actually like this play. It's just he hits Mute in the process, I think, or Unix. I'm not sure who it was. And so kind of unfortunate there, but that's all right. So we move on. He's just chilling. He got boost. Again, this is a nice passing play between Mute and Unix. Just a tiny bit off, though. Like, their passes keep being a tiny bit off, and that's really screwing them up. They got to make them closer to their players and not towards the goal as much. And then here, he goes up for the challenge. This is actually not too dangerous since Mute is back. He's kind of just trying to keep the play in. And Mute should have left, but he actually didn't. So it turned into a worse play. But that's Mute's job to leave there. And nothing against Savage there. He thought Mute was leaving, I bet. So here's a shot by Savage. Both cars are coming back here. So he's like, all right, let's take the shot. They're both backwards. This is smart. He just hits it a little too low. If you would have hit it higher, then even if it's off the backboard, then I think Mute was there with him. Yeah, Mute's coming up with him on the left here. So if he hits this high, then at least Mute has a chance at a rebound. While Orange is driving backwards, it's hard to get that clear, unless the third guy gets it. So those, you just got to try and put higher, basically. And that could have been a goal. You're just playing D, that's fine. Just making sure the pass isn't going middle. Right there, he could have challenged. Like, I'm a little confused why he didn't just go for the challenge. He might not have had a lot of boost. That's a possibility. But that's his challenge since Unix is in net. They kind of get confused, I think, a bit there. But either way, it works out. It goes into the corner. Now, Unix is trying to clear this. Not a great attempt. Now, Savage has a decent attempt here, but throws it right back towards Orange. So here, so there's 3 guys on the right side of the field. He could have easily just tapped it to the left, and then he probably has next hit. Maybe even Unix does. But instead, he hits it right. Like, if you were to take that left, maybe Cabrino reads it and goes left. But he has a much better chance of getting a clear there by going to the left instead of the right. He does make a solid attempt right after, though, with Ticon's getting a poor hit, and he's able to pop it over Cabrino. So they get a pretty good clear there, with Mute helping out as well. Now it's officially like in the other team's zone. Here, just kind of a poor aerial. I mean, you just got to get up higher, I guess. I think he ran out of boost. He's just waiting in net. Like, this is smart. Like, the ball's going sideways, and you want to come up for that shot, but no one's back. So that was a good play by him, just being patient, waiting in net. There, he gets faked by the first attempt here. He really didn't have much of an attempt at a block, but that's fine. Like, you're playing threes. Like you should lunge at people at times to try and throw them off. Yeah, he's waiting around. He's going for this hit. I mean, not the greatest hit. Not the worst hit, though, either. Like, the goalie had a chance to come out, but it was a 50-50 at least for the blue team. He could have thrown it up the curve and maybe made it a little bit more interesting, but those, you know, it was fine. All right, Mutant Unix are chilling up. He's being passive, which is smart. Now, here is a really bad mistake. Like, yeah, he misses it, which is part of the mistake, but really what the mistake is, if we go back a little bit further. All right, so there's one blue guy in net. He's not going to make it back anytime soon. Mute flies for this. Now, this is why I think he gets screwed up, because Mute just whiffed on it. But now Mute's out of the play, too. So Mute and Unix are both out of the play. They don't have a chance to play defense. And he goes for a weird aerial, like, deflection towards the center. Like, a tougher aerial than he needed. And this causes Orange team to get a great counterattack here. Lucky for them. Like, Unix and Mute do get back in time, but this could have been a lot worse. So if we go back to the actual hit, he has plenty of time here. There's no one around him, like, for this hit. So he could have, he could have moved up a little bit sooner, but I think that's because Mute went up, so he didn't. So instead, he should just go at this more directly and maybe throw it off the corner, like the inside corner, so it goes right in front of the net high. So at least Orange team can't clear it well. Instead, he goes for a shot here. That's not like going to be a hard shot at all. It's going to be just a deflection shot. He should use the corner more here and go for the center rather than going for the shot directly. So he whiffs and they get a counterattack, but the blue side makes up for it. But now he has no boost too either, so he has to go all the way to boost. All because of that play. Alright, now Unix and Mute are in the same spot. That's not great. But alright, so now he's waiting up mid. Waiting for something. Now here, this play's a little weird. Since both of them don't go for the ball, he's like, well, maybe I should go. But, like, you have to expect that Orange is probably going to hit it at some point. Which is fine if you still go towards the ball. But what he does is, like, Caprino is definitely hitting this. And he's definitely hitting it to the corner. Like, so he jumps here right as contact is made by Cabrino. So I guess he was, like, more worried about Cabrino coming in towards the center for a dribble. Understandable, but once Cabrino makes contact, then you're kind of out of the play. And I guess he kind of just flipped sideways to get back into play. I mean, it looked like Cabrino was hitting it that way, but I could see why maybe he's trying for the block. Not the worst play, I guess, when I look back at it. All right, here's waiting in net, just waiting for these little hits. Comes up a little early here because this is a little awkward. Maybe he thought he would win the ball first, But T-Cunts plus his teammate were both there way earlier. So maybe he should have circled back further. Just went net since he's the last one back. Waited out the weirdness. Because when there's like 3 cars around a ball, there's going to be weirdness. And sometimes it's better to just sit in net and wait for that last tap. Or wait for that last powerful tap. To go for the ball. So there should have been another goal for Orange. And they kind of missed. So blue team's getting a little lucky here. Here he's trying to set up a center. Now this is a good play. He just barely misses. Now this is actually a really hard play because right as he goes for the pass, you can't jump off this corner because if he jumps here, he's just gonna land onto that back wall. It's he could have jumped earlier so then he makes it to the other wall a little bit sooner, but it's a tough play because he's just gonna smack right into the wall. So he would have to meet the ball right at the right time. It's a good idea, just poor execution, and I'll give it a tough play, so that's fine. Especially in threes, it doesn't really matter because you have 2 other guys to back you up. So you should go for those hard to make plays. Let's go back here real quick. I see him flying for no reason. Let's see why it was. So he gets the first attempt. Alright, he's playing for Cabrino to miss there. I mean, with 5 seconds left, yeah, it's fine, I guess. Like, hope and praying. Not the worst thing in the world. That was a little bit of a misread by like everyone. so they got a little lucky there, but we'll take it. So this is smart. He turns around right as he sees that the goalie has a very easy clear and just getting ready. Here, all right. So I'm not sure why he jumps here at all. This play's a little strange. So he circles back, but like instead of going to the net, like he's not going to be a Cabrino there. So Cabrino's going to get a deflection or a miss no matter what. And then he's also got Unix right next to him. So if we go back even further, like he sees Unix in front of him. So he should know, all right, well, I guess Unix was turned around. So it's a possibility, like they both turned around at the same time. But still, he still doesn't have this hit over Cabrino. His best bet is to drive to the net and turn around and hope that either Cabrino misses and it's an easy save, or Cabrino makes a deflection right to him. And instead, he kind of just jumps in no man's land, and Cabrino could just... Like, if he would have got that deflection anywhere on net, it wasn't going to be blocked, basically. Plus, let's go back, because I really don't like this play. Did I go back too far? I think I did. I think I lost the play. Here we go. Okay. So let's go back again. Now, again, too, with this kind of jump, he's not hitting this ball anywhere. He's going to hit it, like, either he's going to center it for Doomy, and, like, best case scenario, he throws it into his corner, which is what you'd want to do, but it's not a great play. Now he's hitting mute. Oh, no. That's fine. All right, so Unix sets him up here pretty well. All right, now here, he just takes a really poor angle at the start of this pass, and it really screws him here, because... if he waits a little bit longer, then he has a clear shot. He's got half of the net where this is a goal. Instead, he takes a weird angle and throws it right to Doomy. That should have definitely been a goal, and that should have been the game for sure. That was just poor judging of the pass, I guess, where he couldn't take a shot that he wanted. Here's a decent play. Like, you don't want it in your end. And he couldn't get up to it high enough, but at least he puts it midfield, which is fine. Now, this play, I'm not a big fan of either. So if we go back, Unix throws it, like, into the corner. They have 2 goalies. They have Cabrino and Doomy. One of them is definitely hitting this ball. There's no reason to go and attack this ball at all. Because you have Unix. Unix is chilling on this right corner. So you know that if Cabrino or Doomy hits it, Unix is probably getting next hit. And that could be a center to you. So why not just chill on this left side? Like, maybe grab the boost and then turn around so you're waiting for, like, a weird hit coming your way. Instead, he attacks this ball and just takes himself out of the play completely. Now, Unix makes a great pass here to mute. Plus, Savage goes back to play D, which is good. But Unix made a great pass to mute. But at the same time, like, if Unix didn't have that opportunity and he had to pass it all the way sideways, then Savage could have been there too. So they could have had, like, a double pass attempt, basically. But they wind up winning the game I mean, overtime, I think a little luckily, because they didn't have a lot of quality shots all game. They had one right at the end, so we'll just go back while I'm talking about this. We'll just play from, like, here. So they had one attempt, or the orange had many attempts throughout the game, while blue didn't really have many attempts. Like, this is probably their best shot of the game, and it wasn't that threatening. But really, a blue side was, like, close to being doing really well. They had, like, 3 pass attempts that, if they were just a little bit better, could have been goals. They were just a tiny bit off. And they just have to work on clearing the ball. There was a lot of times where their clears were a little poor, and they would go right back to orange team. Like this one, for instance, with Unix, it was just kind of awkward. So, like, if they work on their clears, just put them either to open space, and if you don't have open space, you just throw them really high. And if you throw them really high, at least it makes it tough for orange to do anything with, and then you might get a secondary clear right after their hit. So, like, if they work on their clears a little bit more, so they're not on the defensive as much, then they can maybe create more of those passing plays and maybe connect with a few more. And at the same time, yeah, like, if they just work on their pass plays, which I assume they do, you know, like, those were just a tiny bit off. And this is just one game. It's not necessarily this is how every game goes for them. They definitely have a better chance at doing well. And then Savage just has to work, like, it seems like he's a little bit off on some of his angles on the walls from time to time. His positioning for defense is pretty good. Just once in a while on offense, it seems a little awkward. He seems to be their third man back most of the time. Not always, but that seems to be the case, which is fine. But yeah, just a little bit more quality of hits, and, like, you just can't have whiffs like that, obviously. And he'll be set to go. Like, he's already superstar, so he's close to champion. I could easily see him become a champion soon. So there's not too much to say. Just work on those clears. Maybe a tiny bit better position here or there, and you gotta, like, avoid going for the same ball as teammates. But everyone does that, and that's really hard to teach. That's something you get as you play more and more, which actually didn't happen a lot for blue team here. They only went for the same ball a couple of times. But besides that, yeah, go check out Savage on Twitter. Like, I'll have his link in the description. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This one was actually a little longer. I think I rambled a little bit towards the end. But I was trying to find things, because once you get to the higher levels, it's harder to find things for the players. So I was trying to find things where I could. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll be back again with another replay analysis soon from my Patreon, guys. Please check out the Patreon if you guys want to support me. That'd be awesome. And yeah, we'll see you next time, guys. Goodbye.